Oh, it can't hold the power long enough.
Well, no, that's yeah.
So it's not a charge thing; it's a direct current.
Yeah.
Oh, it can't hold the power. Oh, so hey guys, how you doing?
So we're back. We didn't turn it to mutes.
How you doing?
So it's not a charge thing.
No,
It's a
nobody,
current.
nobody told us that we weren't on audio.
So,
Thank you,
active viewing.
friends.
Way to go.
Guess what? Guess what? Now we've got audio. So,
We're gonna run back to it real quick.
hey, how you doing? Welcome to episode 81 of What Are You Drinking Now here at the office. And for those of you who,
from Wicked Wheat, fantastic IPA.
for those of you who read our logo tonight or our title, Josh got drunk on Saturday, and Nick and Rob are going to make fun of him.
Absolutely, yep, it's a real thing. It happened. Here's a portion of my glasses that I found.
He lost those right before he fell down the steps as he's trying to get into the truck for his ride.
It's fair to
Absolutely.
say, after the last 13 minutes, though, Josh definitely has some ammo to make fun of Rob.
Huh?
Turning us all into mutes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At least I remember to check if the thing's on.
I like to let you guys practice your lip reading. Apparently, I think that should be.
I think we got some of it in. Our device clicked off and cut our audio off, so now we have audio back on. So
I think
We're gonna-
that should be a Nick job from now on, is making sure those lights are on, because Rob obviously can't see them a foot and a half away from him.
Well, once I hook the bottle clap, the belch, and the air horn to
Yeah.
the quick sound buttons, you'll know when it's
Okay,
on or
all
off.
right.
Listen, I got tons of awesome to say. I think we'll get to it in the rehash.
Yeah,
of
just
the blip
an
up.
FYI,
So we're just
we'll
gonna
come
keep
back to the
moving on
Stone
for
Black
continuity.
IPA, the subliminally self-righteous. We've already spent time on. We'll do it on the
Yeah,
review.
we'll come back to her.
My apologies, and for those of you who were watching, but
You
weren't
should
sure.
know by now that Rob apologizes profusely.
If I have to. My palate cleanser is a Cavendish Cowboy Water. Josh is the
Original Sin of Black Widow.
and Nick is the pernicious IPA in the new label.
Now that
So-
we caught back up, do we have to keep talking like mini mice?
Mini Mice.
No. Now,
Oh,
That was not Minnie Mouse.
I've been bourbon.
That's
with-
the one we need to record.
with the
Oh,
new
new
audio
sound
setup,
system,
that
I'm telling
probably sounded really good out
So
there.
it's gonna be solid belch.
These
12
are the
minutes in.
most clarified burps you will hear anywhere in town.
Yeah, it's really it's a pleasure to have you all here. And while Josh gets this next one going around the house, maybe he could just tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this one is a relatively new arrival on the shelf here at the office. This is the Anderson Valley Brewing Company Bourbon Barrel Stout.
Last week, right?
We got it in last week. And we probably would have done it on the show last week. One, if it had showed up after Monday, and two, if we had done a show last week. But we didn't, so...
Yeah, I guess I need to apologize for that, because it was my fault that we didn't do a show last week, because I was watching my team lose the national championship.
Yeah.
But hey,
That was just sad.
Dad made good pizza, and
Hey, they put up a
we
good
drank
fight,
beer.
right?
Yeah. Well, the offense did. The defense didn't show up to the game, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, Bourbon Barrel, Anderson Valley, Bourbon Barrel Stout. It says malt beverage aged 6 months in bourbon barrels. It's a 12-ounce can, and it is
6.9% ABV.
6.9 ABV. Okay, I gotta say that disappoints me for Bourbon Barrel and 12-ounce can and this price point.
Yeah, the price point's $4.50, but I don't think any of us have had this yet.
I have not.
I had one at the house, and a friend of mine came over Sunday and wanted a beer, so I gave it to him, and he said he liked it, but I didn't try it, so I haven't had a chance to have it.
It better be good for me.
Have
At
either of
$4.50.
you guys had Anderson Valley Stout?
No, I have not.
No, I'm not. I can't say I have a.
Oh, it smells like bourbon.
I mean, it does. I gave a little whiff when we were pouring the can. I do think this is going to push back into Rob's flavor profile a little bit, where we have the aggressiveness of the hopping in the black IPA. This is going to be a little bit, for Rob, a little bit smoother, maltier into his zone. I can already kind of catch a little sweetness.
I'm just going to say it smells boozier than 6.9.
It tastes boozier than 6.9.
Maybe it was 6.9 before they barreled it.
Maybe that's a misprint. It's 9.6.
I don't know. Untapped said it was 6.9.
I think
Or
I agree with that.
16.9.
I just think that the bourbon flavor is there, that signature of the whiskey bourbon.
Yeah, the bourbon's definitely
I
coming
don't
through.
know that I'm getting a really strong oak feel.
It almost tastes like Guinness put in a bourbon barrel. So it could have been like a lower ABV stout put in a bourbon barrel to get to 6.9. Because a lot of those high gravity like bourbon barrel stouts were imperial stouts to begin with. So if you start with 10%, you'll end up at 12 or 13.
I have had Anderson Valley's brown.
Hey, Chris and Ryan, if you're still watching, how you doing, guys?
The Anderson Valley Brown Ale always carried a little bit of a hop tone, but kind of caramely and smooth. Not
Wow,
quite
that's-
chocolatey.
That's probably not a good follow-up on that.
That did not go good. Did not go good. For those of you who looked away from the screen and are wondering what that cacophony is, Josh just attempted to take a sip of the Rebel hard coffee.
No, I thought that was the Black Orchard. I mean, the Black
I
Widow.
totally misread that.
The original Sin Black Widow. Maybe you should go back to the stout real quick.
Ouch. Is it any better? He looks a little more relieved, at least.
Don't do that again.
It
I
sounds
thought he was getting ready to
sounds
do that.
better already. I'm glad everyone appreciated Josh's coughing fit in high definition.
Well, you know, windpipe is really only supposed to be for wind.
Is that what they meant by the wrong pipe? But, I'm not sure that this is the beer I want to try to inhale. I'll just be honest about that.
It's
Yeah,
not fun.
I'm. Even at 6.9, this is not a crusher. This is not something to chug.
No, I think this is all about the flavor exploration of the bourbon barrel stout theme without just the over-the-top booziness. My guess is some people that like those 10.5s, those 11%ers, like those Goose Islands, like they want to say yes, but it's like almost unavailable to them to drink.
Yeah, no, the Bourbon County, like that is just that's a whole beast of its own. Once you get into those,
And then there's like all these, I hesitate to say imitators, but there's other beers similar in class now from other breweries.
Sure.
it looks like you're changing your motor oil out of your car.
Like I saw someone buy a Silent Night today, and the guy looked like he hit Christmas again. Like it was. So I mean, I don't want to knock people who like the really boozy imperial stouts. I just don't know that this is imperial, but this is definitely bourbon barrel aged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely not imperial, but the bourbon barrel is just screaming through.
Yeah, kind of like old granddad.
I guess I got to chug mine now too. Thanks, guys.
I don't know how else to get through bourbon. Old fashions and bourbon barrel beer.
I had say that one might have been a little harsh on me, probably because of my own decisions. But
I definitely, for my friend who would rather be drinking bourbon or whiskey, and we're all drinking beer and he's stuck drinking beer with us, he's gonna dig this. He's gonna be like, oh, I didn't know they did these.
they got it down the right pipe that time.
Sounds like it. Oh, guys, that fire went off there. It's not always me. It was like a little, you got your San Andreas fall. This was like more like your New Madrid fall. Kind of
What's he talking about?
I have no idea. It's something involving
Tectonic
geography.
plates.
Geomorphology, but
Like what, California?
well, San Andreas is like a pretty hard surface rip, but like New Madrid fall in like
Where's
Missouri, Southern Illinois.
Did we have an earthquake while I was finishing that bourbon barrel stout and not realize it?
I tore one pretty good.
Dude, are we gonna have to open the door?
It was all above. Rob, I'd keep it above the belt. Yeah.
Ooh.
Speaking above the belt, you think that cork made it?
Yeah. The wine tool is losing its Teflon coating on the corkscrew. So that's why it's squeaking a little bit more.
It is. That one's got some tight curls too, and it's set up for a long cork.
So, we actually tried this last week in a tasting, but I think we all liked it to the point, and we just brought it in. So I think we're going to review it so that we can let people know that we have it. This is the Ground Effect
Oh, cool.
Cabernet Sauvignon from Santa Ynez, California.
Ooh.
That's not a. We don't see that appellation. all the
Actually, it
time.
says Santa Barbara County on the front. So
Does it
that
clarify
that
that on
actually
the back?
that actually makes more sense on the AVA.
We do hear that one a little bit more.
Yeah.
We've got some Santa Barbara white wines. Do we have a lot of Santa Barbara red wines?
Not particularly.
Yeah.
But this is, like I said, 2019 cab. $22 for the bottle.
Ooh.
All right, guys, glasses.
That sounded pretty good. He did a pretty good
You
job.
can get up for me this time.
Glasses.
Didn't quite have the glove there.
I'll drink it myself.
Oh, no,
Fine.
no.
Rob still wants to keep the ASMR folks happy.
I'll drink it myself. I don't care.
Our sound effects are going to do that for you.
Cluck, 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 cluck.
Like some ASMR guy just got Willy internet style.
I don't
Play
even.
that back in my
Splash,
headphones.
splash, 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 splash.
I don't even want to know what Schwilly internet style is.
Yeah, what's a schwilly?
I have a coworker who's probably ruffling right now if she were watching.
Raffling.
You just said, oh my god.
Schwilly
You
and
are 40.
raffling.
You are 40.
She wants to be
I get what he was saying now because you said. I was like, "What is raffling?" And then you just said he is 40. Now I'm like, "Oh, okay." Wait. He just played a 40 comment. Okay, I got you.
Man. This is what I get for being the youngin.
I don't know what happened. One day it was funny. Now I just tell dad jokes.
Big, ripe berry fruit on the nose.
This thing sticks to my glass, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, people are talking about, they do this thing, right, with the legs. We don't spend too much time on this, but this visual, it just tells us, like, is this heavy wine? Is this thick? Is there big booze? Or is this just real watery? But some wines, like these Calis like this, you gotta get under the skirt before you even get a look at the legs. And I don't mean that like some anatomy pun. This thing leaves just a solid bead around your glass. And that's what wine people call the skirt. Not to be confused with our meniscus.
I dribbled.
Yeah, right over there?
Yeah, I dribbled. I dribbled a little bit.
Do you need
I didn't want it to go to waste.
Do you need a handkerchief?
No.
or
I
maybe
got
a
it.
straw?
I just didn't want it to go to waste. It was sitting on the table.
Straw.
So back to the nose. Big, bright, ripe fruit. A lot of blackberry.
Absolutely. With some peppery notes in there. There's a robustness and like a woody herbaceousness, kind of almost like cinnamon stick on the nose.
Maybe like a hint of cedar, not a whole lot.
Yeah,
There's a ton.
and I was thinking a little bit of plum there.
The cedar note carries through.
Oh, you know what else I'm thinking?
I'm actually going to try a little water here.
Slight bit of fig.
I think my bourbon barrel still got my palate.
Anybody get any eucalyptus in there?
I recall
Now that you said it right
saying
there on
that.
the back end of that sniff.
I recall saying that in the tasting, and then our rat went through and read the notes. It was eucalyptus, and not like, oh, Joey was a genius here. Just that it's really there. Seldom do you get to distinguish eucalyptus from cedar in wines. This is one of those that does that.
Yeah.
This is like everything I loved about Obsidian, and then it's just like pushing some more boundaries. The way there's like a brininess next to the fruit, it almost has like this fun metallic flavor.
So here's one thing that hits me now that I don't remember getting on the tasting. And it could be because
He had an open bottle.
I was gonna say it could be because the bottle was open, and this was Branson.
I believe so. If I
It was either
remember in the
Branson or
same-
Callan, but I think it was
I
Branson.
think this was Callan.
Okay. Same
Okay.
day then. That day.
Well, if it was Callan, then she's got that fancy schmancy pour that doesn't open the bottle.
And it's on noble gas.
So I'm getting more tannins though right now than I seem to remember from.
I think that's what's driving that woodiness, and I was getting that on the nose, talking about cinnamon
I seem to
stick.
remember getting a bunch of tannins from this because I think Callan even said something to me about it because she knows how much I love the bold tannins.
Well, the real trick on that, guys, is
I
I see Rob rolling his jowls and stuff, but you see us do this? That's literally the switch that we're all doing there. We're trying to get that wine all over our mouth and find out where do these tannins stick and where does my
I
palate
believe the answer is
respond?
everywhere.
Everywhere, my teeth, my
Oh,
tongue,
yeah.
my cheeks.
mean, this is definitely hitting front teeth all the way back. Yeah. Wow.
I really enjoy this.
And yeah, and I like a good teeth sucker.
It has a tartness that's really fun play. Just gets into the just that tease on that fruit.
This
It's
is
not like-
really. I think I really don't remember this being this tannic when we tasted it. I'm digging it even more now.
But it's not like lingering tannin. It's like it's there for like
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, my teeth, front of my teeth are still dry.
I think the whole
In my
the
gum?
feel I'm getting a hold with the feel. I don't know that the tannic flavor. I don't know that this is why eucalyptus was a great description. Eucalyptus of all these woods has this like crisp where it like hits you and then it's like gone and then you like try to remember, did I smell eucalyptus? Like
Now I am wondering how much that bourbon barrel stout may be.
I had to cleanse. I drank a little water. I even took another sip of the IPA just to try to center my palate. That's why we call it palate cleanser. This may not cleanse everyone's palate, but it brings Nick back to a pretty good control.
Because that stout has, just because being a bourbon barrel, it's going to pick up tannins as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So I wonder if that may be affecting the tannic sensation.
Yeah, I mean, the tannic question, I just drank the water and I was like, is this water tannic? Like, what?
With every subsequent taste of this, it feels a little bit less continuously tannic, but I still get the tannins up front and in the middle.
The nose
But-
is definitely opening for me a little.
But I dig it. I seriously do. This
Oh,
this to me is a big steak wine. It'll hold up.
Oh, absolutely. Those tannins will cut through any kind of fat, too.
Yeah.
So you could go with a nice, thick ribeye with a good little...
I'm good.
That
More
pot
I
roast
was
you made
just
last night,
thinking
man.
I might take a bottle of this home
Plus,
for
that
the
sweet
for the
onion
pot roast.
that
Yeah,
was in the juice that had that smoked flavor.
yeah. That would I think that would be
Actually,
good.
I do think this is one of those wines where it's like a beef broth, just having it right, and the soupy onions.
Prime rib with an au jus.
Oh, yeah.
And it would definitely hold up with my potato. I'm not gonna feel like, oh, potato in the middle. This is gonna be too sweet to have with this red
It'd
wine.
be good with oxtail, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Braised oxtail soup.
I haven't done that. It's time. Last time I had it was very, very Mexican style. Probably not anything like.
Mexican style.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. The guys. You know,
'Cause
when I worked at the
I'm normally associating oxtail with German, but
I know that's sometimes we forget just how much Germany made into Mexico. But
Or basic French, dude. You do your
Yeah.
mirepoix, your
Yeah.
oxtail,
I,
make a gravy.
the guys just had a classic dish when I worked it with them, and we did a cookout one night, and I was like, "What's going on out back?" And it's like, "Oh, Francisco's making oxtail soup." They had some, ass of the bowl or something like that. It was great. It was
No, I could go for some menudo.
menudo, like with this.
like
You're not
the
calling out a
13-year-old boy Mexican band.
No, like the stomach soup.
I'm not familiar with that. I kind of stopped with the 13-year-old boy Mexican band. I didn't want to go any further.
No, that's menuto.
Oh, okay.
That's a T instead of a D.
Was it really?
I always thought it was the same.
Not the.
Maybe it is. I don't know, but the soup is good.
Well, that would explain a lot. If the word means Mexican or was it Mexican stomach soup or whatever.
Yeah, it keeps you on your feet and it's hard to handle.
Yeah.
It's tripe soup. It's good.
It's Safigo.
That's
We
bullshit.
I better stop there. So the wine, I'm digging it a lot.
Yeah, this is full, big Cali, big tannin, big fruit. I mean, I gotta ask, is this like a 14.5?
14.
This
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, I love a big tea sucker. Especially when I'm contemplating what I'm gonna have to eat.
I mean, these guys know when it gets to these wines that are so tannic like this, and they got the body. They sit me back. Like I love this flavor, but it definitely inspires some patience in me with my glass.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes, it's not something you're gonna chug down, but and I've got it. That's the other thing. We haven't really talked about the flavor. We've just talked about it being tannic. I mean,
yeah,
I think the berries carry forward from the fruit or from the nose, but I am getting a little bit more of the cedar or spiciness, a little bit of pepper.
And I do get the eucalyptus on the finish almost, like cooling.
Yeah.
Like a cooling effect on
Yeah,
the finish.
it creates this crispness. That's why I talk about maybe that's why we keep trying to mention the tannic factor. Okay, so some Cali Cabernets have this classic smooth caramel finish, and I'm just not getting that here. I'm getting this more like a Spanish finish.
That's a good point.
Yeah, closer to like a Tempranillo or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I can definitely see that. I think it's a very interesting little wine.
Absolutely.
Which ties into that crispness.
So, we want to go
Fun
through.
label. You did not brag about that.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I really didn't.
Proof Nick loves modern art.
Yeah, ground effect. All right, Nick. I don't think this is anything where we tip it upside down and we have a different picture. Okay.
Well, definitely not. There's still wine in the bottle.
Actually, I did go off about that.
On one of the other ones, they had the.
No, I believe that was it. Yeah.
I don't know because you went off on that a long
She
time
said
ago.
That's the roots of a grape.
That's what I said too. Yeah, but that was another bottle.
Okay.
That was another wine.
It looks like a 4-year-old's watercolor drawing.
It looks like grapevine.
Actually, Josh, is that the picture Camden left for you?
Oh, don't be knocking on Camden.
I mean,
No, Camden left me a picture of a building with a big pumpkin outside of it.
Yeah, Camden
and
loves
4 friends.
Camden
Yeah.
loves pumpkins.
I just hoped I was one of the friends outside. That's all.
I have it.
If you keep
On the wall in the office.
This is-
giving him a hard time, I'm gonna make sure you don't get to be one of those 4 friends.
Oh, that's please.
Hey, do
he
you-
likes my chocolate.
Hey, do you have a picture with your name on it on the wall?
Yes.
Point proven.
Yeah, but
It's not.
what is a wanted? What's a wanted poster? It doesn't. It's not what we're talking about.
You mean the kick me poster next to the water cooler? Yeah.
All right, guys, let's circle back around. We're going to spend a little bit more time on the Stone, I think, since that was my blunder and our initial review on it was.
Yeah, so I guess it's fair to say maybe I should just kick it off.
Yeah.
I cracked this bottle open. I'll tell you what, Stone, caught my eye. You had the old gargoyle on it. I was remembering the old arrogant bastard. I was remembering my first double ales and just getting lost in the whole concept, and then finding the Stone IPA at Trader Joe's and thinking I was the first genius in the suburbs, and then realized everybody was doing it. That Stone, if you've been a craft beer lover, Stone has been part of your journey, quite honestly. And here they did it, and it's like this bottle that I really want to know more and why they're doing it this way. Is it a retro? Is it a bounce back? Is it a shout out to the old arrogant bastard? I don't know. I want to know. It's a big IPA. This thing is not only black, it is big. 8 point what, Rob?
8.7.
In a 12-ounce bottle at $3.50. That's, you do your numbers,
Yeah.
man. That's going to come in pretty good. For the IPA lovers, it's got the hop tone you're really going to love. And for the dark beer lovers, it's got some sweetness and malt and some hops to challenge your palate a little bit. I say share it with the friends and mixed company where you got your IPA drinkers, your pale ale drinkers, and your dark beer drinkers. Crack this one out and see who wins, man. Either way, I think you're going to feel good about this beer. It's a good buy, and it's a good drink. I'd say, in the end, Nick wants to give this 1.6.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and say that it is definitely very hoppy. I do like the black IPA approach to it. I have had multiple iterations of this beer over the years.
Of this beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sublimely self-righteous. It's not a new beer. That
Okay.
It's existed in the past at least a few times. And I've had it years ago and then now. I probably enjoyed it more years ago when I was a little bit more into my aggressive hop phase. So I have to say, like, nowadays, it's not quite my favorite thing Stone does. I mean, Stone is known for aggressive hopping in anything they do. They're not really going to release a beer that's not aggressively hoppy. So you know what you're getting when you crack open anything from Stone. It's going to be hoppy. I have to say the hop profile is pretty good in this, though. I like the roast, so I'm going to give it 1.25 for, like, solid beer. It's boozy. It lets you know that. I just don't see myself sitting down and drinking a lot of these over the course of an evening. I may be able to have one, but that's probably going to be my limit.
Yeah. I'm actually going to echo Josh on the rating of 1.25. And I think it's more personal preference. It was too hop forward for me. I have come to, I'm not even going to go as far as saying like, but I've come to appreciate some of the sweetness, some of the juiciness of the Nipas or the hazies, whichever one they want to put on the bottle for it or the can for it. This one, as somebody who does like dark beers and appreciates them a little bit, I think the hop outweighed the dark beer aspect of it way too much for me. I mean, was it a hoppy IPA? Most definitely. I don't think it didn't get any maltiness for me coming through on the blackness. Yeah, that's why I asked how you make a black IPA. When you roast, I guess roast malts a little longer, and then throw in your IPA recipe, basically. I didn't get the maltiness. So, as an IPA, I thought it was okay. It wasn't up my alley, though. But, yeah, that's apparently what Stone does, is like you said, with overly aggressive hops. So, 1.25. Josh, or no, wait a minute. Yeah, Josh, Bourbon Barrel Stout, Anderson Valley.
Bourbon Barrel Stout from Anderson Valley Brewing Company. If I have to say one thing that stands out the most to me about this beer is kind of like the lack of me really having anything to say about it, honestly. Like, it was very bourbon barrel, like, forward, but outside of the bourbon, I didn't really get a lot. You know, it mostly tasted like just a little bit of a base with bourbon.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
So, I mean, that's really what surprises me more than anything about this. Just because at Anderson Valley, I've never really been disappointed with anything they do. I have to say, this is probably not my favorite thing from Anderson Valley. It's not bad. The bourbon flavor, the bourbon is strong with this one. You know,
The bourbon is strong with this one.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I would almost suspect if the bourbon was this strong, it's something that I would expect a higher ABV.
Yeah.
Especially for the price point. You know, bang for your buck is kind of what you look for with bourbon, anything really.
Yep.
And there's not a lot of bang for the buck with this one. But the flavor's good, and if you like bourbon flavor, it's almost like a clean base, so you get that thick, rich bourbon flavor. So I'm probably gonna have to just stick with a thumb
Okay.
on this one.
For me, So I said it before we even tried it. 12 ounce, 6.9, 450 can. It was going to have to knock my socks off to be worth it for me. I'm disappointed, honestly. Anderson Valley, this is the first beer I've had from them that I've had negative feelings for. I think it was definitely bourbon. I didn't get anything else from it other than bourbon. Like you said, it was kind of a neutral base and then just bourbon barrel. I know that bourbon barrel's a craze, but everything else I've had is bourbon barrel. At least there's something to back it up. Their own little flavor, and the bourbon barrel just kind of accentuates it. This was straight bourbon barrel. I'm gonna go 0.75, and that's being generous. I think for me, I think I'm doing that just because of it's Anderson Valley, and I really do like them.
I mean, the beer didn't make me sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. Jeez, Rob's getting kind of sad on me, you know. But I'm with him. It really didn't strike me as my favorite, especially in the Imperial Bourbon Barrel Stout land.
And that's the thing is it doesn't go into the Imperial
is this
Stout land.
Imperial? How do they label it again?
They don't. They just call it Bourbon Barrel Stout.
So there
Malt
you
beveraged aged 6 months in bourbon barrel.
It's not even called a beer.
They don't even call it beer. They call it malt beverage.
I mean, I'm really wondering if this is like a failed brown ale that just throw it in a bourbon barrel and see what happens, guys. Is it a way to keep microbrew barrel count? I'll throw that in a bourbon barrel, and now we got a different beer. I don't know. Anderson Valley's done a lot of blowing up. They've been a dependable beer on the scene for a while.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of their labels come all the way from California down this way. Not like we didn't have another California beer today, but I just is this a push on the brand to get outside of their zone, and is it not going well? I noticed the labeling completely distinguishes it from any other Anderson Valley beers. It does not have the classic tree.
You're
and
right.
The bear.
You're right. Does not have the beer on it. You're right.
Yeah, and so I was even like, "Who's that by?" It's almost like a theme going on. That both these beers are weirdly labeled, even though they're from these breweries in California.
Yeah.
And then they're in this Eastern market. I really gotta wonder what the heck. Is it major Cali breweries staying relevant to craft brew by issuing these? I don't know. I just did not get the same feel that I got with those other, bourbon barrel craft beers that we had this year. Be they major producers or not, they were very successful.
Yeah.
Again, one of my favorites being a North Carolina one that showed up late in the season, but Silent Night just knocked it out.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. This kind of is going the way of the Thirsty Dog Porter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Rob,
so.
I'm not much higher than you. It's the drinkability for me on this is rough. I got it down. I didn't really want more. 7.5 is as high as I will go on this. It does not get a full thumb.
Yeah.
I guess that was the generous.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because I know. I think we all genuinely like Anderson Valley brews.
Liking it a little more. I started listening to myself, and I was like, "Oh no, it doesn't sound like you like this."
Yeah. So, Ground Effect. This is actually the wine company's name is Ground Effect as well. So this is their Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you're going to find a Ground Effect Chard, a Ground Effect, Sauvignon Blanc.
Probably a red blend.
So this is their 2019 Sauvignon Blanc. Cabernet Sauvignon. And it's from Santa Barbara County. I thought this was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's a $22 bottle, so it's right there mid-range for us. Entry level for some other places. But I think, for us, it's right there mid-range on our shelf. This is a beef wine. This is a wine that's just gonna say, you ain't eating anything else but beef.
Oh yeah.
Give me some nice fat to it. Give me a prime rib. Give me the pot roast from last night. In fact, the funny thing is, these guys made me belch a little while I was tasting this, and my dinner was coming back, and I had leftovers from the pot roast last night. And I was like,
Coming back where?
I was like, yeah, that definitely goes good with that dish.
That's a new method to taste
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Rob's regurgitative wine knowledge.
What is that? Retrogastric tasting? Yeah, retrogastric tasting. Absolutely.
So I'm just gonna say,
Where's the belch button?
I'm just gonna say, for price point, for the big tannic bomb that it is, it really surprised me. I dug this thing. I'm going to go 1.7 on it.
7.
Yeah. Yeah, I really dug it. So
I don't have a lot to say. I think Josh has a little bit more to say. I can just tell what kind of spaces he likes this wine. I do like this wine. This is not one Nick is going to crush a bottle of. And let me just back that up. These guys know I love my white wines. I love my Pinot Verdes, my Sauv Blancs. This is a challenge for Nick in terms of just body. I don't drink tons of red wine. I'm like a glass tops type person. Definitely with food. Like without beef in front of me, like a stroganoff to just get this down.
Oh yeah,
like,
stroganoff would be great.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It just came to me. I was like, I
Yeah.
just thought of the way that pot roast had that crisp, and I think that crisp with the stringy beef is just like where it's at with this. This reminds me a lot of some of our favorite Riojas that we've been tasting, but it does have this step into Cali that just goes up in this terms of quality and richness. It didn't have that lingering finish. It had a nice, like, tannic, dry finish that we really loved. And that's probably why we like it with our oxtail soup and prime ribs and stroganoffs, whatever. We just beefed this thing up. I have no beef with this wine. 1.5.
Cool.
Cool. I'm really happy with this wine because what's really funny is when we did the tasting of it, I remember this was probably out of the ones we tried the one that stood out the least to me, or one of the. Yeah, I think this was like the second least effective. There's like another one we had that stood out a little less, but it wasn't like the game changer that we had on the tasting. But now that I'm revisiting it by itself, I really like this a lot. That tannic punch is just delightful to me.
You know, and
Punch. That's a good word for it.
Apologize about interrupting, but you brought a good point right there. The reason we probably didn't remember it being so tannic was because we tasted it amongst other wines, and the wine tasting built up on the tannic level. So there was one right after it that was higher tannins. Apologize,
When we
but
tasted Barolo.
it might very well have been.
I don't.
If it was Callan, then that was what it was. It was last
and then
week.
that could easily have Josh overlooking this on first taste.
Yeah.
Because we all know what
as
happens
soon as
to
you
Josh.
if you whip out a Barolo in front of me, I'm obviously going to just start forgetting everything else you put out.
15 minutes from a 2-day bender.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So anyway, I apologize about
No,
interrupting
it's
you.
all good. Yeah, I do have that distinct memory that this one kind of got lost in the tasting for me, but now that I'm revisiting on its own,
Yeah.
it's really showing itself. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to give it a 1.8.
Cool.
For the $22 price point, I mean, this is exactly what I would want from a $22 bottle. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's tannic, it's good.
That's so awesome. I picked up something in Josh's rating there, and I'll touch on it and give it right back over. Pair this with food, not with other wines.
Yeah.
If you want to show this wine and experience it well.
Yeah, this would be a great one to like carefully select to have with food. It's to me, it's like made for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could drink it on its own, but I would much rather have this with like a nice meal.
You're exactly right. I agree.
Maybe some goulash.
God, we're just gonna be making beef soups like
Yeah.
all winter.
The week of beef.
Yep, the week of beef. All right, guys. So that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, 1.8.
All right, nice. Sorry, I know.
I think that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Josh, you have some words for us?
Absolutely. Please, if any of you want to make some beef dishes for us this week and bring them to us, absolutely.
If,
But aside from
another
that,
form of beef is the comment.
yeah. Aside from that, if you're watching us on YouTube, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe below. Without your input, we don't know what the heck to talk about.
Or even if our audio is working.
Or
you
or
can also
if we
tell us politely if you can't hear anything.
Is
yeah,
this thing on?
if you're on Facebook Live, please, if you join in and you hear nothing, look, Dad just showed up. He must be used to our original
Dad,
time.
can you hear me now?
But if you are watching Facebook Live, remember it's live. So if you don't hear any audio, make a comment. Let us know you don't hear any audio. That goes to you, Redbeard, because I know you were there early enough watching, and then you disappeared.
He didn't know if it was just
Yeah.
tinnitus or just us.
Yeah.
Is it, honey, come in there. Is it me or?
How do I cut the volume up on this thing?
All right, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for us. We'll see you next week. I don't think anything's coming up to stop us from being here next week yet.
Not that I can think of.
And so we'll see you then. And you guys have a good week from between now and then.
Remember, beef dishes.
Beef dishes.